Hey everyone, how are you? I hope सब बढ़िया चल रहा होगा. Now, question is why I'm making this specific lecture. The reason is simple that I have seen many students are not able to identify ethical issue in case study. So that's why I come up with this idea that let me make a specific lecture on ethical issue. Okay, so let's start. This is the news from the Jharkhand. Okay, where what happened? A girl was denied ration because her fingerprint did not match. Later on, she died. Now, question is why I'm telling you this news? Because there is an ethical issue is there. But before answering to that question, let us discuss what is the definition of ethical issue. Okay, later on I will tell you what is the ethical issue in this case, and I hope you will be able to answer that also. What is an ethical issue? If I have give you a technical definition, it means whenever there is an ethical value undermined, destroyed, ignored, it will lead to an ethical issue. That is the technical definition. But if I tell you in simple term, it means first try to identify what is going wrong in the case study. Then later on assign an appropriate value to it. That's the simple way. For example, in above case study, just I have discussed with you, the Jharkhand case, there is a lack of compassion toward the weaker section of society. We all know that PDS ration is for poor, but that PDS officer lack compassion toward that girl. What can happen instead of that? I mean, though her fingerprint did not match, what are the alternative? He can write his Aadhaar card number in a notebook that I have given the PDS ration, and later on we can identify, or you can say match her fingerprints. This can also happen, but he denied it, and later on that girl died. So what is the ethical issue? Lack of compassion toward weaker section of society, and another poor service delivery. These are the ethical issue. Now, I hope you have heard this thing number of times that whenever government need to construct a road or maybe a bridge, they float a tender. Okay, this case study is based on that. A government official awarded a 10 crore road construction tender to a firm without disclosing the relationship. This decision raised suspicion among other bidder and the public. Later on, an inquiry revealed he was his brother-in-law. I hope now you understand that what is the ethical issue is there. What is wrong is happening. He given the tender to his brother-in-law. This is the wrong. Okay. Now, what is the ethical issue? Conflict of interest. Conflict of interest simply means whenever an officer faces professional interest versus personal interest. But in this case, that person, the government official, has given tender to his brother-in-law, which is his personal interest. So this is the ethical issue here, that he has preferred personal interest over professional interest. Case study 3. Inside the sprawling warehouse of an e-commerce giant, workers race against the clock to fulfill orders. Their every movement is tracked by sophisticated surveillance system. Reports emerge of employees pushed to their limits, facing immense pressure to meet targets, sometimes at the expense of basic needs and well-being. I hope now you clearly identify what is wrong is happening there. Okay, now what are the ethical issue here? Number one, poor work culture, or you can say toxic work culture. Okay, number two, labor's right violation. And third, prioritizing profit over workers' health. These are the basic, you can say, ethical issue raised in this case study. Case study 4. Neha, a qualified engineer, was excited about a job interview. However, as soon as the recruiter realized she was pregnant, they rejected her application, citing other reasons so that no one can question the organization. I hope now you realize that what is wrong is here. Since the organization has to pay during her maternity leave, that's why they decided not to recruit her. So, what is the ethical issue here? It is gender discrimination. Case study 4. This is quite common. You might have seen on social media everywhere. Okay, so let us discuss. Ria, a high school student, became the target of an online smear campaign by classmates. Now, what is the ethical issue here? It is the cyberbullying, which can cause Ria mental stress and can harm her reputation. This is the most common nowadays. You might have seen on Twitter, you might have seen on Instagram that number of times specifically girls are bullied. So what is the ethical issue is here? Cyberbullying. Case study 5. This I have also taken from India context. A news media article falsely claimed a religious group was responsible for violent act. This misinformation spread quickly, inciting riot and loss of lives. This actually happening in India. A news media channel particularly targeting a particular community. Because of that, riots are happening. Now, what is the ethical issue is here? Responsible journalism, or you can say responsibility to show the truth or true picture. I hope I have cleared your doubts. what is ethical issue and how to identify them. Still you are facing some problem, you can contact me on my Telegram channel with the same name, RS Ethics, or you can ask me in comment section. Okay, so that's all for today. Bye.